So if you get past the like torture of riding a bicycle and being exhausted and like being tired and winded, I think it's just a lot of fun. It's more efficient than running. You get to see more. And it's a good mix of like being able to socialize and go and have freedom and also get a good workout in. It genuinely makes me very happy to ride, so I appreciate being able to take the time out of my day and be out in the sunshine, in the warm weather, doing one of my favorite activities, so that's like really what's front and center for me.
Oh, you good?
Marco was right. Marco was right.
What do you mean?
Marco was right.
Marco was right about what?
I'm gonna go jump this thing. Is it mechanically safe? And he would probably just say, there's no way.
The frame just bust?
No.
Oh, no, man. Yike.
Well, no, but yeah. I try and be really prepared. I carry like a fanny pack, or I'll carry a frame bag or a backpack, and like I know, I kind of like look back on all the parts that I've broken and been stranded, not having the neat stuff I need, so I start bringing those, and you know, you build a little pack, a go-to pack, and I have pretty much everything I need, but it's usually the nights that I decide not to bring that out, that's when you have the issues. So when you have the tools, you're probably not going to have an issue, but when you decide that night not to bring them, that's when the issues will crop up. This thing is cocked. I'm never buying carbon handlebars again. It's expensive to go buy a new bike, so it's expensive to go to a shop and have your parts replaced or like have it serviced and tuned up. You're gonna get charged over $100 for a simple tune-up, and what's a tune-up anyway? Like go to your garage and like tighten your chain, adjust your derailleurs, stuff like that. So if you're confident in pulling something apart, or if you want to grab a screwdriver and adjust a bolt, as long as you have the confidence that you're not going to break it too much. It's a bicycle, so as long as you're willing to experiment and like try it out, then yeah, you'll be able to learn. And I think that anyone who has that like drive to do that should easily be able to work on their own bike. Usually you have your tube in there and you inflate it, and it pushes against your tire and it pushes against your rim, and it keeps everything all secure. But I'm kind of a big guy, so if I have to run my PSI at like 120, so that way when I hit a bump, it doesn't like hit the rim and bottom out. And as soon as that contacts the rim with the concrete, it's just gonna get a little pinch flat in the rubber, and then it'll slowly leak out. What we're attempting to do is set up a tire tubeless, and it's not a tubeless tire, so we have that difficulty to begin with, and it's not a modern rim, so we went to the bike farm, the Yellow Bike Project.
Your shirt gonna be hanging up on the walls here.
Do you have like hoops?
Just the rims?
Yeah, just rims maybe too.
You might.
With the idea behind a tubeless setup is you get rid of that tube, which we know gets pinch flats all the time, and you replace that with some sealant, some goo, and then that sealant is going to make its own tube that is hopefully more resistant to punctures. And then if it does happen to get punctured, there's a little liquid stuff in there that'll force out and hopefully seal it up for you. You just go throw some more air in there. So what I'm looking for, this is a solid hub right here. This one looks similar. It's a front hub. So I'm looking for one that has the ability to go fixed. Road tires are a lot smaller, higher pressure. They're just not set up for that, so it's an experiment. Here we go. So this guy, and then a fixed over here. So this is a fixed track hub. Hey, it's a Surly, man.
Hell yeah.
That's a fucking Surly hub. That's a Surly track hub. This free hub is a little crunchy, but I got a free hub that's really nice. 19 tooth Surly cog, that's pretty solid, man. I can pull this hub off and lace it to a mountain bike rim, which is going to be a little, like 1.5 inches smaller. I can put a wider tire on there. Look at this guy. This one's a super lightweight, super small compared to this big boy. Size of these hubs right here. So the high flange right here can use shorter spokes and be a lot stronger than this small little guy. This might actually be able to set up tubeless. With enough tape. So we can do a tubeless setup. If we tape off all these holes with some duct tape, some sealant, and then you put the tube on there and you put sealant in there, it'll glue everything up and you don't need to run a tube on the inside. But it's better if you have a wide tire like this guy right here. This is a mountain bike tire. How much wider that is. I don't know what kind of hub it is, but it doesn't look bad. The Surly one might be actually broken and maybe that's why it's here. This one feels solid. This one I'd be able to throw almost right onto the bike. With some will, I think we could set it up tubeless. There's people who say it's dangerous. I don't know. I've never tried it. So I've set up regular tires tubeless, but this is just going to be something weird, and we've got a bunch of sealant in there, and hopefully we can get something that doesn't have flat tires all the time. It might not come all the way loose. You can get the rest of it. Tool. Yeah. Look at this. This is all fucked up. So this lock ring, made out of steel. This is aluminum. Aluminum is for beer cans. And that's why it's broken. So this is a chain whip, and this allows you to remove cogs sometimes. So you can see here, these are threads, which are aluminum. This is a nice steel cog, nice steel lock ring, so aluminum's always going to lose in that fight. Lock ring, or your fixed gear, spins that way. When you pedal, you're twisting it that way, so it's going to get infinitely tight. So it's going to be pretty tight. And then you have a lock ring that will thread on to the smaller set of threads. Now the problem with fixed gear is if you're not using brakes and you back pedal real hard, really hard, start to loosen it, and you'll fuck your threads, you'll strip them. So what we got going on here. Steel, just fine. These threads are bombed, and that's because my lock ring wasn't tight enough, and when I hit a skid, I loosened up my rear cog, and it slipped backwards a little bit. And then that small movement of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth just wears everything out. And that's what happens when you have a cheap hub. Props to Origin 8, right here, Origin 8 for making cheap hubs. 99 bucks on the internet, will last a month. So. Be very gentle. Don't force anything. If you're forcing it, you're doing it wrong and it's gonna strip. So got that on there with some medium tightness. So the chain whip is good for just like an initial snug, but that is nowhere near tight enough. In order to get this thing tight before you put in that lock ring, it's got to get installed onto the bike, and you need to go crank it forward. So the key here is don't brake. Only forward, as much force possible. This hill, I'll be back in like a minute. Think it might work? if you like roll it too far, it could burp and let some out. We'll see. This is leaking a lot of air through the sidewall, which is new. It's not a tubeless tire. So usually, like, I would assume a tubeless tire is going to have like rubber that is not as porous. But the sealant should still create a coat around all of it. I really enjoy riding my like fat mountain bike. Those big tires, like nothing beats it. It crushes over everything. It's perfect for the city. It's a lot heavier, but I don't mind pushing the extra weight, and it's fun. It's a lot more comfortable. It's got higher end components. Everything is smooth and good. But you need that safety when you're riding on a trail. Then like my fixie, that's like a totally different beast. That's like there's nothing on there. That is the minimum spec of a bicycle to get between your legs and get you on the road. Nothing else, nothing more. And there's something like awesome to that. Just some pedals, wheels, and a frame and handlebars, and you're just going, nothing else. Oh yeah, so Brushy Creek is pretty gnarly. There's some good jumps there. There's a lot of man-made stuff that can really get you tore up. I've only been there one time. I went with a friend who was definitely above my skill level, and he was really able to pull. So he rides first, and you just kind of follow. And if you're confident, and you keep up with the speed, and you're not afraid to try new things. That's how you learn, is you ride with other people.
So what just happened, Mike?
The carbon handlebar snapped.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's a cheap carbon handlebar. And it just snapped. At the weakest joint. When I landed, it just snapped.
So what are the injuries like? We got a couple scrapes on the inside, outside of your arms.
This is from the roll, this is from the handlebar.
Yeah, you landed heavy on your back here, a little bit on your booty. Yeah, it looks like a very nice roll on your part. You sure your head's good?
Oh yeah.
Nothing on your neck?
Didn't even touch my head.
Okay.
Yeah, no helmet. Didn't even have any dirt on it. No dirt at all. I rolled.
Cool.
It was a good roll. Very clean.
Yeah.
But this thing is cocked. I'm never buying carbon handlebars again. Never.